Well, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Stock, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today I want to talk to you about NNDM and its upcoming, what I expect, price action based on a few different things that we have. And I want to look through some evidence, some news that we have. We have a Reddit post that's out there. So I want to pick through all of that, give you my take on NNDM, and provide an update that I think is long overdue for this channel. So thank you if you've been with me over these past couple months. I've been on here since the end of December, and I mean closing on the 6-month mark. It's been a good half a year, and I'm looking forward to the next 6 months. I think that there's a lot of growth ahead for this channel, and I also think that there's a lot of growth ahead for NNDM. With that said, let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description is a link to my Patreon. You can click on that link. It'll take you over to Patreon. You can, if you sign up, you can get access to my growth portfolio, my dividend portfolio, my weekly newsletter, my weekly watch list of stocks. I also have a private Discord over there that you can talk one-on-one with me, and you can also talk with the other patrons who are over there and just really talk about those companies that we're excited about and about the different financial things that we care about, and really try to build that sort of community and working towards that financial freedom together. I know for myself, that idea of leaving the middle class, just leaving it behind and ascending into a place of financial freedom is something I'm highly interested in. We have a shrinking middle class as it is, and I would like to be the part that floats upward, and I would like to also help you guys in your ascension, we'll call it, from the middle class, that you get your family to that place of financial freedom. So that link for the Patreon is down in the description. Go ahead and check it out. Also down in the description is a link to WEBULL. You can go over there, sign up, deposit $100. You get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850. I get 2 free stocks for the referral, so thank you ahead of time for that. I really appreciate any support that you show. One great way that you can support this channel is just by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the like button. And if you watch this video all the way through, those things help uprank these videos, and so that way it helps the search algorithms, that then I get seen more and it supports the channel more, and then I can bring more support to you guys of the different things that I find. So also don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can see anytime my videos come out. Share it with your friends, and with that said, let's get on to the stocks. Alright, so one of the recent things to come out was on Reddit, and I know that it's a funny place to go, but I had a couple people hit me up in the comments being like, hey, NNDM updates, because I guess they read this Reddit post and you know, looking for some sort of confirmation about what the heck is going to come up. And it's been a while since I looked into NNDM. I have them in my growth portfolio, which again is over my Patreon. So this is something that I wanted to share with you, and you can take what you make of it and, you know, make your own decisions about what you want to do. They make a couple interesting points, and it does say from this person who it looks like Crystal Pepsi 10, and I remember drinking Crystal Pepsi back in the 90s. We had a soda machine in our middle school, and I convinced myself because it was clear that I would like it, so I guess I fell for the marketing as a teenager. So moving on from there anyway. So they said as of the posting of that, it'd be up 23%, and then of course we know that there's a lot more selling off in mid-May down to 58%, which is astounding given their cash position that they have right now, which is sort of like a cushion that would be to the bottom price, where we would really see a bottom out, because as of right now, given the cash position alone of almost $1.5 billion, and then the cash that they have per share is almost $6 per share. So just keep that in mind when we look at their market cap. It's almost entirely made up of cash at this point. It is a very fringe, very cutting edge technology, and you know, its growth is something that has yet to be seen, and that's definitely something that we can talk about, that we can discuss, think about, and you can also put your comments, whatever you think, down in the comments for this video. It'd be wonderful to have that engagement with you, and if you want more engagement, like I said, come over to the Patreon. Let's move on from there. So it says where they can sell, and you have started. If you look at their investor presentation, you hear aerospace, automotive, medical. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 different industries that are listed there. And if we scroll from there, they give us some customer quotes, and they don't really say too much. The parts look impressive, and you push the industry, a mold within 1 hour that has a 1 micron resolution is a game changer from additive manufacturing engineer, and then could be a game changer for us. And then your tiny feature capability is very relevant to some of our engineering challenges. The part arrived and it looks awesome. So we just have a little bit of evidence coming out. I don't know that says a whole lot, but we can move on from there. ARK Invest, this was huge in 2020, looking at ARK Invest and the bleeding edge innovation companies that were out there, and having NNDM in 4 different of their ETFs. So the 3D printing one, the Israel technology ones that are out there, ARCW, ARCQ, just a lot of shares right now being held, 16 million shares according to this. And then it talks about the revenue that they bring in, and their revenue right now is very, very minimal. They have made 2 acquisitions recently, and in an interview for Redchip through Bloomberg that just came out this weekend, they asked, what's the market opportunity? And Yoav Stern, the CEO, said that there's about a $25 billion market opportunity for their products and their services. That does not mean that they're going to have a $25 billion market cap, which would be 12.5 times what their market cap currently is for their shares as they trade. However, he also remarked that there is very low competition in that space, and so having that low competition means that they stand to capture a fair amount of that market opportunity, that $25 billion market opportunity that they set for themselves. So if they do happen to get, let's say, like 2.5 billion compared to the revenue that they've made right now over the next few years, so just 10% of that market opportunity, that would significantly impact the top line revenue that they have, that the bottom line income that they would have, and operating on a fairly large margin. Those are things that we could talk about. Also, the compounding annual growth rate for 3D printing in general. They have a lot of things going for them that are going to allow them to increase in price over time, as long as they get their products out there and their services out there, and they really take over a market-leading opportunity into that $25 billion market opportunity. That could be absolutely huge. Right now, I think people are like, wow, this is neat, this is impressive. What do we do with it? I gotta say, one of the biggest drivers that they have right now is the rapid prototyping, and the fact that it can also maintains intellectual property that people can manufacture in-house. They don't have to outsource anywhere. He also referenced trade tensions with China, the fact that since China does produce something like 90% of the printed circuit boards out there, and that like defense organizations who contract through NNDM, or defense organizations in general, they don't want to send out their intellectual property, or they can't send out their intellectual property for obvious reasons. And so this would be a way that they could make in-house those materials, and they would get revenue for selling their Dragonfly machines, their service model, and then also their reagent models that they have, and also through their 2 acquisitions as well, that they also stand to capture more revenue from those sources. And their marketing is going to begin this year into early next year, where we could start to see those sales sort of take off and the revenue take off. So being really pre-revenue at this point makes this risky, in that they're not really generating as much revenue as we would like to see. So that's something that has yet to be proven, and so that's where the early investor, high risk, high growth comes into this, is that we don't know, because they have very low revenue at this point in time, that they're saying that they're ready to mobilize and scale into those revenues, scale into higher revenues through more sales and through more marketing, and also through further acquisitions, that they would increase their holdings in that way, and also increase revenue streams. These are all different positives that we have going for NNDM. It's just a matter of it being proven, and because people naturally like certainty, and we just don't have that certainty with NNDM, that's where that sort of risk comes in. So by buying into this, and something is taking a position as a long-term investor on this, you want to stay diversified, you want to make sure that you stay balanced, and it's something that you don't overexpose yourself to something high risk like this, because while it sounds beautiful and gorgeous and amazing as far as an investment opportunity to really be an early investor into a company like NNDM, there's also that idea that nobody really wants their technology, or there's also that idea that there could be competition that revolutionizes and innovates beyond and makes them not really something that could ever come to fruition, or there's just other risk factors that you have to consider that keeps you from going all in on something like this. It doesn't mean that I'm bearish on this, because I'm not. I'm bullish. I have an investment in it already, and it's actually one that I've increased recently, because I believe that we're going to see some bullish action coming out of NNDM in the near future. And here in Reddit, it talks about the cash-rich position that they have, so that's something that you want to pay attention to, and the fact that just their cash position alone puts them around $6 per share. That was something that was mentioned in the interview over the weekend with Bloomberg. They also talk about the acquisitions with DeepCube and with NanoFabrica. And so those are things that you can read. And they have a lot of cash left over for a lot of acquisitions beyond that. And they talk about the 3 different kinds of acquisitions that they're looking for. Here's where it really starts to get interesting from a technical perspective. When you look at the options activity, that there's almost 40,000 for open interest at the $10 strike price for the July 16th call. And then we also have that $7.50 put that we have at 6,732. And while puts can be seen as bearish, if you're actually selling a put, that's actually something that's bullish, because you're just looking to get in at a lower price that you then expect to make money off your investment by going higher. So that's something that you want to consider. And then I don't think that we should discount the almost 12,000 options that we have here at 750 strike, and also the almost 18 or just over 18,000 at the 1250 strike. These are things that I don't think that you should ignore when you look at this, and that there could be a move coming up very soon for NNDM. Alright, so here we're looking at the daily chart for NNDM, and when you look at this daily chart, you can see from this recent price action that's had all the way back from about the beginning of April until now, we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern happening, where we have a shoulder here, and then a head here, and then another shoulder over here. And we can see that it's pretty much symmetric from the market close on Friday up until now. And so really it's a matter of seeing what sort of price action we get out of that. If we get significant volume coming, that could show us that we have a break on its way, where we could break out above those prices up to about $10 per share is what I would call a psychological resist. It does match up with this peak that we have back over here back on December the 31st. So we could get close to that 10 but then fail to break it. But with strong enough volume and enough momentum, we could really push through it. If I zoom in a little bit more, the 50-day did come down and did cross over the 200-day, and then it dipped down, which is typically a bearish signal for us. You can see not really a whole lot took place from that, but it is curving back up, and we're starting to get a positive slope from both of those. And so these could cross each other, along with the fact that we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern happening here. And as long as the resistance isn't enough to keep us down, then we could easily have a breakout sometime in the near future for NNDM. And also, when you look at this, we have just a little tiny this upward pressure that we have over these last 2 trading days. That we have this red hammer candle right here, and then we have almost a doji candle forming after it. So this could be upward pressure for us moving forward, and so we have signs that there could be some sort of breakout on the way, along with the options interest, with the open interest in the options that we have. Those are things that could propel us upward moving forward, that we have these different bullish signs that are taking place. And really watching this in the near term, I think, could lead to some opportunities, at least when we look at it for long positions where we want the stock to go up in price over time. So I think that this is something that should be kept on your radar, and maybe we'll see some really awesome positive price action in the near future. So let me summarize. NNDM is a high growth play, which means it's also a high risk play. While I think that we could see some bullish action in the near term, I still think for NNDM to mature as a company that we have a while to really watch those revenues fill out, and to really see how it affects their bottom line and what sort of margins that they put out. And then we also have the acquisition targets. They have 2 very small acquisition targets so far that they think will complement their business well. And then they still have almost $1.5 billion between operations and acquisitions. In order for them to capture that $25 billion market opportunity that's out there, we don't know what sort of competition is out there and how much they stand to capture of it. They're not going to get 100%, so they're not going to be 25 billion. They're not going to get all $25 billion of that market, but they could still get billions of dollars of that market. So I'm going to close this up for the day. NNDM, keep your eyes on it, check it out, see what you think about it. Read the Reddit article that's out there. I think that there's some cool things to be said. You should also read their investor presentation, just to see if they're in the investor presentations, they're going to put their best foot forward. So if you don't like what you see there, then it's not good enough to invest in. So just remember that. You should also look for bear cases and really read the risks, even in their SEC filings, to see what they're saying are going to be roadblocks or hurdles for them. Really what I'm interested in seeing is how they rotate out of this pandemic, because that's what we've been hearing about, is getting through the pandemic, getting through the pandemic, getting through the pandemic. And, well, we're getting through it. We are moving into the second half of 2021, into 2022, where those promises that Yoav Stern made for NNDM to start really ramping up their marketing and really moving full force into their acquisitions, this is the time that he said that we should start seeing that is second half of 2021 into 2022, and really watching them move from the rapid prototype state that they're in into the production phases over a much longer time horizon. Those are things that we got to watch and see how they play out over time if we're going to remain investors in NNDM. In the near term, moving up to $10 per share is something that I could see happening, that we might find that strong resistance right around 10, but if we do, we have room up into the 11s after that before we hit the next area of resistance. So keep that in mind, at least for the short term. So thank you guys for checking out my video. I really appreciate it. If you want to talk to me more, check out that link for the Patreon down in the description. I'd love to have you over there. I'd love to see you as part of that community where we help each other towards financial freedom and we work on growing our portfolios over time. Also, don't forget about WEBULL, please. It's the platform that you see in my videos where you can buy and sell stocks and cryptos. They also recently introduced fractional shares, so those are things where you could get exposure to Tesla, but with a smaller portfolio where it wouldn't take up so much of your buying power. Those are just, just ideas. By signing up and putting in that $100, you get 2 free stocks. I get 2 free stocks. It's a win-win where you get supported and I get supported. Also, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Remember, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Contact a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.